The Call Room Road to Records is powered by Hoka. I've had the absolute ride of a lifetime releasing these Call Room series around track season, cross country season, and I've always been honored that Hoka comes on and sponsors them, helps me produce the best possible episodes that I can. This year's edition of the Call Room, I'm so excited about. It's leading into the 2025 edition of the Hoka Festival Miles held June 5th in St. Louis, Missouri. This year, the races are literally going to be bigger and better than ever. The fields that have already been announced are absolutely remarkable, and Hoka is there every step of the way. I cannot wait to talk to both the top boys and the top girl contenders as they journey to St. Louis to chase records, to chase history. It's gonna be an absolute blast, and I can't wait for this podcast series leading into the historic event that is the Hoka Festival Miles Meet. If you're in the midst of your track season, I highly recommend checking out Hoka's race day products. Join Hoka's next generation of fast family this year at the Hoka Festival Miles, the Summer Mile Club, and the Foot Locker Cross Country National Championships. Enjoy today's episode of the Call Room Road to Records, powered by Hoka.
Because it's the little everyday things. It's like 3D printing. I mean, if you were to see something being 3D printed from the start, you wouldn't know what it is. And then just over time, every kind of like line that it draws, it creates something. And so you have this masterpiece of whatever you're 3D printing. So for me, it's really strange. I look back and I'm like, when did I become so good, I guess? Or when did I achieve this success? But I think it's been in everything that I've been trying to do for the past 6 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Charlie Vause back today on the Call Room Road to Records leading into the 2025 Hoka Festival Miles Meet. I'm so excited that Charlie is a part of this field. He took the world by storm, winning NXN last December. Big comeback story, a big underdog, and he's taking that same energy with him into St. Louis this upcoming week. He's got a PR of 401 converted in the mile. He represents Rio Rancho High School in New Mexico. I pray I pronounced that right. Apologies if I didn't. He's committed to run for BYU this upcoming fall. And today's conversation, we dive into the process from NXN all the way up to this outdoor season, his races, his training, his thought process, running festival miles last year, missing his flight. It got canceled, and driving 17 hours to St. Louis and how that turned out and what his expectations are going into this year's event. I'm confident you guys are going to enjoy the furthering of this storyline of what is going to be the most historic boys mile race on June 5th, 2025. If you enjoy it, share it with a friend. It would greatly help us expand the reach of this podcast. Give us a follow or subscribe wherever you are listening so that you never miss another episode. And make sure to give us a 5-star review. It takes 5 seconds to do, if that, and really helps us with the algorithms. And without further ado, enjoy my conversation with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Charlie Vause. Charlie Vause, welcome to the Call Room Road to Records. A privilege to talk to you just days ahead of the 2025 Hoka Festival Mile Meet. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm great. Thank you.
Last time I talked to you was after winning NXN. You were on top of the world. Crazy story, breaking it all down there. Now you hit the track, hit it running. I guess through talking to you before this, you had done festival miles last year, but what would you say in your mind is the biggest difference between cross country and track, both for you personally as well as kind of the sport in high school?
I think I've always loved cross country more. I like that. Just there's that kind of culture where everyone is thrown into the same race. We're all racing the same course. Basically, we're all fighting the same battle, and it's much more of a team aspect, I think. And you know, I love it. It's in the fall time. You get to run all these different courses. And then track, I think there's a little more variability in that, you know, there's the 32 and the mile and the 800 and you know, all these various events that maybe one you're stronger in and the other you're not as strong. So I think track for me is like trying to build well-roundedness. Like I strive to be the kind of athlete who you can trust to go throw down in a 32, but who can also run a solid 400 leg in a 4x4 and just like anything in between. So I think for me, cross country is like, I know what I'm going to run. It's a 5K. The course is different each time, but we're just going to go hammer out like 3 miles versus track. It's every race is different. even though they're the same distance and races can be super tactical and sometimes you're going all out, it's I don't know, it's kind of like a dance. I like it though.
How do you feel like you dealt with the kind of newfound pressure and expectation post NXN going into indoor track season? And what's it been like, as the season has gone on?
That is an excellent question. Um, and that's actually a topic that I've had multiple long, deep conversations with people really close to me, people that I trust and that I love and that know me and know how hard I work and also how, I think and how I kind of have an outlook of running. And I'd say, in short, um, it's very novel. I don't think anyone ever teaches you how to handle attention or national level recognition. It's been strange. It's also been really cool. It's insane to me that I'll go to meets and people will ask to take photos with me because I feel like I'm the same Charlie I was 2 years ago. But I guess there's to look back on everything that I've done to get to where I am now. Of course, I can't see where it all happened because it's the little everyday things. It's like 3D printing. I mean, if you were to see something being 3D printed from the start, you wouldn't know what it is. And then just over time, every kind of like line that it draws, it creates something. And so you have this masterpiece of whatever you're 3D printing. So for me, it's really strange. I look back and I'm like, when did I become so good, I guess? Or when did I achieve this success? But I think it's been in everything that I've been trying to do for the past 6 years. And so it's been, I think, really good teaching lesson for me to have perspective and to be able to kind of look back and, in that kind of regard. And then also, I feel like I know it's kind of a long answer, but it's a deep question. For me, I don't want to lose myself. Like I'm still the same Charlie, and I don't want to get caught up in anything, or I guess maybe let it get to my head because I just want to be the same happy Charlie who loves to compete, and I guess I'm still kind of figuring out that balance of accepting this level of recognition and success, and then just staying true to myself. So
Was it difficult at all coming onto the spotlight, or maybe do you view it as a blessing with just like 6 months left in your high school career? Because I was just talking to Quinton Nauman, and he was, he's a junior, he's running these ridiculous times, and now he's probably going to have a spotlight for the next 13 months. Whereas you just get it for 6 months, it's probably not too heavy. You're more of a cross guy. You execute the race that it matters in cross, and then you flip over to track where maybe you're not as much in the spotlight. Do you think that was helpful where it's like, okay, this isn't unbearable, this isn't going to be forever, it's probably the month after NXN, and then it'll slowly go away?
if I'm being honest with myself, I don't think I viewed it and went about it the right way. And I said there's no class. No one ever teaches you how to deal with that kind of success or recognition. Um, but I think I like early on in indoor track and some earlier outdoor track races was a little too caught up, and I kind of forgot where what that mindset was that I had approaching NXN. And I think for me, it's just been trying to let go of other things out of my control. Um, and I guess one of those things that you touched on was the spotlight and who has it. And, like everyone wants the spotlight. Everyone wants to be known as a guy that can be, excellent in cross and track. And I think there's a lot of great guys out there who work their tails off and aren't in the spotlight. So it's like you just do what you can and then you avoid comparison. So for me, I think I got a little in my head in the start of indoor track. I was like, oh man, this is a completely different sport. Like oh man, it's an indoor track. And I got a little caught up. And really, it's not a different sport. And it doesn't matter if it's 200 meters, 400 meters, or whatever the distance is. It's all running. So I think if I'm being honest, like totally transparent, I kind of lost myself in the spotlight, and then like it was a little overwhelming. And I think if I would have been able to have some more perspective that I do now. And of course, I live and I learn, and it's good that I figure these things out now. But um, referring to like my track season and how I agree with you. I'm not in the spotlight right now, and that's okay. Um, I think the most important thing for me is just to focus on what I'm doing and not really care so much about it, because it'll come and it'll go. I've learned that. All I can do is control my effort and how I'm willing to sacrifice in the moments that it matters.
What would you say was the moment that you feel like you started to rediscover yourself and even become aware that you needed to rediscover yourself?
Um, I don't know if it was a definitive moment, because I think this whole outdoor track season I've been trying to get back to that place mentally where I'm just like, I don't care who's here. I'm just going to go out and race because that's what I love to do. Um, but I think I've had some breakthrough races like BYU Invitational that I went to a little bit ago, and that was a good weekend for me. I think that was one of the first points in this outdoor season where I was just like, I'm going for it. I don't even care. And I went out and I got put in the slow heat of the 800, but I still went out solo to 151.8 up in Provo. And then the next day, just like, I want to win the mile. And so I went and led the mile and won that too with a pretty solid time. So those were good moments. Those for me were like just remembering how hard I work and that it is worth it to just go out there and sacrifice every time.
You ran the 2024 Hoka Festival of Miles meet, so last year's edition of FOM. Take me through that meet, what the atmosphere was like, and leaving that meet a little hungry for more and coming back this year for it.
The atmosphere of that meet is incredible. It is so much fun and so unreal. I had never been to a meet where I got so much stuff, just like gear and anything in general. So it was incredible. It was like Christmas morning, and it was this fun, smaller track. It wasn't huge, but it was just electric. So electric. Everyone there was there because they they work hard and they earned it, and it was like a bunch of elite guys and girls just trying to go break records. And it was a smaller field, very very intense, and I think it was just a really really neat experience to be part of.
Take me through that race performance.
Right. So going in, I had a seed time. I ran 4:07 at the New Mexico State meet, and then that converted to like a 4:02. So going in, I was probably, I don't even remember, but I had a good seed time, and I was like, all right, I can do this. I'm gonna go do this. The night before, little backstory. The night before the Hoka Festival Miles, we're in Albuquerque, um, trying to board our plane, and it got canceled on us. Our flight got canceled. So we rented a car and drove all through the night to some place in Oklahoma. Slept for a couple hours, drove all the day of Hoka, and only got there maybe an hour and a half before I raced. So I was not in
What?
great conditions like for the race. I was not feeling great. I was like tired and just completely wiped. But I was like, who cares? I'm here. This is so much fun. I'm gonna go race. The gun goes off, and I like got pushed in the back, and it went out like ridiculously fast. Everyone was like fighting for position, and I tried to move up, and I just did not have a great race that day, and I ended up running second to last. I was second to last place, um, and not satisfied at all with my time either. So obviously not ideal conditions, but I think maybe a little bit of that got to my head. I think I could have done better. So yeah, that definitely left me like not angry, but like fire in the belly for more opportunities to go race. So I guess I seek redemption in St. Louis, you could say.
Most definitely. How far is the car ride from your home in New Mexico to St. Louis University track?
17, 18 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Not
How
good.
did you, obviously the race didn't go as you wanted, but like in the moment, what were those moments of adversity like where you're like, this is not gonna be what I think it's gonna be?
I think warming up for the race, I was like, I got this. I can do this. And then I got out on the track, and we started. The gun goes off, and I was definitely feeling it, like physically. But I think I let that play into my mind more than I should have. Because I also went out what I thought I needed to go out in, and I actually ran my first lap perfectly, like the way I wanted to, because I had a race plan, and I was in last place. And I think that just kind of got to me because I was like, oh man, we are all going so fast. We're all running like the same pace, but it's just this long line of guys. And I guess I just felt like I couldn't work my way up. So I just kind of hung out there. And like I ran, I felt like I was running fast, and I was, but definitely not as fast as I could have gone. So yeah, the race last year was definitely a mental challenge. Being in last place in such a fast meet, I think it got to me in the head. But
How nervous do you think you'll be this year when you get to the airport that your flight's gonna get canceled again?
um, I think there will be some nerves. I'll be crossing my fingers and praying that we can actually take off.
Coming back this year, what do you feel like you learned from last year's edition, and how are you going to implement those lessons into this year's race and performance?
Just be competitive, no matter what. Like, be ready, be adaptable, evolve to whatever's gonna happen. If I go out fast, like if I go out and I somehow end up in last place again, uh, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna crawl my way to the top pack and then like do everything I can to win. And if I give it everything I have and I don't win, that's okay. But I want to be really competitive and a presence throughout the race.
What are your thoughts on this year's field? What's it been like kind of being on the other side, a part of this field, but on the other side of seeing some of these entries come out and now seeing, I think we're up to 6 boys entered that have already broken the 4-minute barrier before even lining up.
That makes me excited. Like I think my natural inclination that I sometimes play into too much would be to be afraid, to be scared, to be like, oh shoot, these guys are so fast. But nah, like I am just so excited. And I touched on this briefly when you asked about dealing with like recognition and spotlight after NXN. One thing that I've really learned this past track season is just not compare. It's not even worth it. Comparison is odious. Um, and I think that is something that we should all learn. And I'm not saying we all need to learn, like accusing anybody, but especially my generation. Like we all get on Instagram and we look at who's running fast and who's doing this and doing that, and it's just comparison. And I don't think that's healthy. I think that's it should be avoided. And if we're gonna look at other people who are doing awesome things, we should congratulate. Like the other day when I saw that both TJ and Corbin broke 4 in the same race, I was just so ecstatic for them. I was like, let's go. That's 2 more guys going into this next race who have done it already. And they're probably going to do it again. And that just makes me so excited. Like, I texted TJ and Corbin, 2 guys who I'm friends with and respect so much. And I was just like happy for them. And I think that's the mentality that I have. It's honestly taken a while to develop that, to be able to, instead of envy or view other people's success as my own failure, more like compliment and just be like, wow, that's awesome, I can get there. And it was funny. TJ was like, thanks man, appreciate that, you gonna be with us at the festival? And I'm like, I got you, because I'm gonna be next. Like that's my goal. I think I can. So
Speaking to that, I feel like you thrived at NXN without being the guy necessarily talked about because you hadn't necessarily had the flashiest of performances leading up to it, but you did enough to make it there. And then when it got to the big dance, you performed at the big dance. How do you feel like that clutch factor that you have will factor in next Thursday? And how excited are you to rip it against guys, that have broken 4 and you haven't done so yet? But as we all know, looking at your career over the past 7 months, like, you show up when it matters.
I think what you said, I'm going to try to show up when it matters. Like, I'm going to be there. And those guys who have already done it, they're going to do it again. The only difference is I'll be right there with them. And I believe that I can. So that's what matters. I'm going to go out and have fun. And I really am just so excited. This is going to be the race of a lifetime. So much fun.
Let me ask you this. Over under 5.5 boys, under 4.
Did you say 5.5?
Yeah.
I think over.
I think 5 have done it going in. Okay, over.
I think there's going to be
This is big.
a pack. Is Josiah racing it?
He is, yeah.
Well, I saw him.
So the guys that are the guys that are officially entered who have broken 4: Josiah, Taven, Corbin, TJ,
Tommy Latham.
Tommy, and then Quentin has broken 4 for the 16. So 5 and 5/6.
We'll give it to him.
6.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a whole pack of guys who are hungry to do that, and I anticipate it to be really competitive because it's not going to be a tactical race. Everyone out there in that field believes in themselves and wants to go break 4, and I think for a good number, like a handful of those guys, it's going to be attainable.
You've run 401 converted in the mile. How comfortable, Charlie, are we feeling running 59s next Thursday?
I don't think I even need to run consistent 59s throughout the whole thing, but I believe that I can break 4. And maybe I shouldn't say it on the podcast, but no, I can say that on the podcast. I believe in myself, and I want to go give it my best shot, see what I can do.
As you should. You've earned the right to believe in yourself with the career that you've had. What do you feel like is the training? How has it shifted from cross to track? And what is a workout? What are some workouts you've done that you feel like are indicative of putting yourself in Sub-4 shape?
We have kept a couple of the workouts that we did in cross season, just to maintain that kind of like endurance strength. Like we'll still do Ks, we'll still do tempo runs, but we've definitely done more shorter intervals, where you have short rest and you have to do like one thing we'll do is broken 5s. I don't know if my coach wants me saying this on the podcast, but we'll do a 300 just about like really fast, and then you get about 30 seconds of rest standing, and then you run a 200 all out. And so that's like more of an 800 workout. We never did that in cross, and you get like 8 minutes jogging in between, and then we do sets of those. So that really, really works on turnover. And I think, there's a variety of workouts that we do, but for what I felt is like wheels, just like top end speed or being able to hold like a really fast pace for, longer than 300, 400, so stuff like that.
What would it mean to you, looking at your high school career, to go out breaking 4 minutes in the mile? I'm sure you've thought about this, Bear, for many, many years. Festival of Miles is the place to do it. What would it mean to you?
I would just be so happy. It'd be a dream come true, truly. I've had the goal of breaking 4 longer than any other goal in my running career, and I think that would just be a sweet way to end high school. And, I've got races after the Festival of Miles, but this will be the last mile that I run as a high school athlete. So like Cole Hawker told us at NXN, I'm just going to try to race it like it's my last race. So it'd be really something special. And I think it'd mean a lot, not just to me, but my state. Like New Mexico would be thrilled if they have 2 sub-4 milers in the same graduating class. Like that's unheard of.
Speaking of that state, not to hate on New Mexico, but also to hate on New Mexico, you were first an Ohio guy. We talked about this last podcast. Yeah. I want to ask you, Bob Kennedy has had the mile record for quite some time now. It hasn't been broken. It stays every year. There's great talent. It seems like no one can get it done. Can you move back to Ohio for a week? I'll let you live with me. You become an Ohio resident, and you become the first Ohio kid to break 4 minutes in the mile.
I'll think about it.
I do remember, I think the first time I ever saw your name and was only aware of it way after the fact, because one of my good friends, Connor Long, I think you were one place in front of him or one place behind him at the state meet. Sophomore year, state mile, I think you placed like 8th. You podiumed. Talk to the people out there. Ohio is deep. It gets hated on as a state, but it's a deep state.
It is very deep, and it does not deserve the hate. I remember just speaking on the depth of Ohio and honestly the Midwest. Like our cross country region was probably one of the toughest in the Midwest. We had huge schools like Saint X, and I'm trying to think of some others, but like big schools with huge teams and just a lot of guys. Maybe not like superstars, but stars, like right there in the mix. And same thing for track. It was so deep. I mean, to get out of the regional meet and get to the state meet, I had to run a 4:17 as a sophomore. So yeah, it's so deep. And shout out to my people back in Milford, MC. Wait, do I still know it? MC4 Live. They're gonna go crazy. But yeah, our team was good, and it was like hard to make it to those bigger meets, which it's not the same in New Mexico, like, and that's no hate to New Mexico, but some of those eastern states are just deeper.
Obviously, you've had a remarkable kind of storybook last 7 months, winning NXN, doing so in the fashion you did, even making NXN, coming back to Festival of Miles, placing well at state meets, at the BYU Invitational, doing really well, as you shared earlier. What do you want your kind of lasting legacy to be for high school running for those in the sport?
I don't hold too many records to my name, and I'm no Steve Prefontaine, but I hope I'm remembered as someone who really knew how to work hard, but to also enjoy it, and was just encouraging and like a friend to all, and someone who loved the sport and loved my states that I've lived in. I think it's amazing to run incredible times and to set records, but at the end of the day, only one name gets to hold those records. But there's plenty of other guys out there, striving, shooting for the stars. And I think I'd like to be remembered as someone who really tried to uplift the whole team and the whole sport wherever I was, and someone who just loved it and hopefully was a good teammate. So.
I love it. I love it. For those listening, why should they tune in June 5th? Either come out in person if they're not close to St. Louis, watch it.
Well, it's better than whatever you're going to be watching on Netflix. I can guarantee you that.
I love it. I love it. Simple as that?
Yeah. Just watch it. A bunch of kids fighting for their lives. 4 laps. It's going to be fun.
History will go down. What was your favorite part of the event last year? The DJ, the lights, the atmosphere? Pin it down to one thing.
It was a pretty good DJ. But I'm going to say the atmosphere. It was just so electric. And I just can't wait to be a part of that and then go throw down.
I think since the last time we talked, you've committed to run for BYU, so I want to shed a little bit of a light on it before wrapping up here. Your life has really fundamentally changed. I feel like over the past year, a lot has changed for you. A lot of dreams have come true. What's it like to make the dream come true of running Division I and doing so at a university that you wanted to run for, looked up to, and has such a rich history of success in the sport of distance running?
That last part that you were saying, the rich history of success, I'm so grateful to have committed there, and that, like soon, I say soon, 2 years, I'll be a part of that team. I'm ecstatic. I'm so excited. I think about it every day, and I think about just the team and the culture I'll be a part of, but then also the chance for even greater success that I have just by being on that team. And I'm really excited. I want to work so hard. I want to dream even bigger than I do now. And I want to love the sport even more than I do now so that I'm willing to continue to sacrifice and achieve greater success and greater joy, I guess. So I'm really excited, so grateful, really thrilled to see what the future is going to bring.
Charlie, final question for you, man. Ending on a light one. You break 4 minutes next Thursday. What's the post-race celebration meal you're going with? If you could have anything, St. Louis has it all. Let's assume
anything. Honestly, maybe a Chipotle burrito. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's nearby. Yeah.
Keep it simple. What goes in the burrito? Give people the Charlie Vause burrito from Chipotle.
Everything.
What's the order?
First of all, we're getting that thing double wrapped. I mean, it is going to be a monster burrito. We're getting rice and beans and meat, maybe extra meat. I don't know. Maybe we'll feel crazy, and then like everything on top: lettuce, pico, cheese, all the good stuff.
I love it. Charlie, thanks for taking the time to chop it up. Excited to see you in person. I guess we met last year, but like officially meet you in person, cheer you on, and watch history go down June 5th. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a movie, and excited that you're a part of it all.
Of course. Thank you so much.